Welcome, dear friends, to Vintage Touch, Decor with Soul. In today's heartwarming journey, we'll explore the enduring charm of Charles Faudree's beloved French country style. Whether you've admired toile fabrics, soft floral patterns, or patinaed antiques, you're about to fall in love all over again. Faudree's interiors are a gentle blend of elegance and comfort, where refinement meets coziness. His rooms whisper stories through vintage accessories, romantic furniture, and layers of welcoming warmth. This episode is designed especially with you in mind, those who value homes that feel lived in, loved, and filled with soul. So grab your tea, cozy up, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together, let's celebrate the timeless artistry of Charles Faudree and discover how to bring his vintage French country magic into your own home. Charles Faudree's French country style is instantly recognizable. It's a look that blends refinement with warmth, where every corner invites you to sit down and stay a while. He believed that rooms should feel lived in, layered with comfort, and infused with soul, not just designed for show. At the heart of his aesthetic is an effortless elegance. You'll often find a rich mix of patterns, stripes, florals, and checks, paired with time-worn finishes and graceful silhouettes. This is not a minimal style, it's one that celebrates abundance, beauty, and the art of meaningful decor. What truly sets Faudree's work apart is his emotional approach to interiors. He designed homes that feel like hugs, charming, warm, and deeply personal. Whether it's a toile-covered settee or an antique sideboard full of stories, every detail is chosen with love and layered with intention. Charles Faudree's French country interiors are known for their tender, soothing color palettes. You'll often see a graceful combination of creams, soft blues, muted greens, gentle pinks, and faded reds, tones that evoke tranquility and history. These aren't bold or brash hues, they're lived in and whispery, like the pages of an old storybook. Faudree had a masterful way of using color to guide the mood of a room. He would often start with a neutral base, like warm ivory or a pale gray, and build around it with curated accents. These touches of color appeared in upholstered furniture, drapery, painted wood, and even fresh-cut flowers. This gentle palette brings a sense of ease to any space. It allows the eye to rest, encourages relaxation, and makes vintage elements feel timeless rather than outdated. If you're aiming for French country charm, begin with soft, comforting colors that blend naturally, never clash, and always soothe. One of Charles Faudree's most beloved signatures was his use of toile fabric, a quintessential element in French country interiors. Toile de Joie, with its delicate pastoral scenes and romantic motifs, instantly evokes the French countryside and lends an old-world charm that feels both refined and comforting. Faudree used toile in every imaginable way: upholstery, curtains, bedding, wallpaper, and even lampshades. What makes it magical is how the fabric tells a story. Each pattern is like a page from history, adding depth and interest to a space. And he always paired it with cozy materials like linen, cotton, or faded velvet to enhance the tactile warmth. Layering textiles was also a hallmark of his style. You'd often see a toile print set against ticking stripes, gingham, or subtle florals, all in a carefully controlled palette. The trick is contrast without chaos. Faudree mastered the balance, letting each piece sing while still harmonizing in a soft visual melody. In Charles Faudree's world, antiques weren't just decorative, they were essential. Every aged piece brought soul to a space, layering time and memory into the fabric of the home. His philosophy was clear: rooms should feel collected over time, not assembled overnight. This belief gave his spaces an authenticity that still captivates today. You'd often find gilded mirrors with gentle tarnish, time-worn sideboards, painted armoires with cracked patina, and dainty footstools upholstered in faded fabric. These treasures carried a past, and when placed thoughtfully, they added richness and rhythm. Faudree had a gift for blending high and low, humble and ornate, all in perfect harmony. Layering antiques also meant mixing textures and finishes. A weathered oak table next to a velvet settee. A crystal chandelier above a worn Persian rug. These combinations created depth and a sense of permanence, where every detail felt earned and nothing appeared sterile. That's the true beauty of living with antiques, the comfort of history in your everyday life. Charles Faudree had a deep affection for traditional French furniture, the kind that gracefully blends beauty with function. Curved legs, carved wood details, and upholstered seating were hallmarks of his interiors. These weren't just functional items, they were sculptural elements that elevated everyday living. Among Faudree's favorites were Louis XV and Louis XVI style chairs, cane-back settees, and dainty side tables with marquetry or hand-painted accents. These pieces added elegance without feeling too formal. He loved placing a refined chair beside a rustic table, creating that signature tension between polished and relaxed. Comfort was always key. Even the most ornate pieces were chosen for how they made a room feel inviting and lived in. Whether it was a Bergerac chair dressed in floral linen or a farmhouse table paired with velvet chairs, Faudree ensured every piece offered charm, purpose, and timeless appeal. While Charles Faudree was known for elegance, he never strayed far from his roots and rustic charm. In fact, the magic of his French country style comes from blending refined pieces with warm, earthy touches. Exposed beams, weathered finishes, terracotta pots, and rough-hewn wood surfaces grounded his spaces with authenticity. Faudree believed that rustic accents bring a lived-in comfort that makes a room feel approachable. A heavily distressed console table might anchor a delicate arrangement of porcelain, or an aged copper pot might sit proudly atop a polished marble countertop. These juxtapositions made his interiors rich with contrast and full of heart. Warm metals, natural textures, and unpolished finishes gave his rooms a timeless charm. Wicker baskets, iron candle holders, and rough stone flooring all played supporting roles. They reminded us that beauty doesn't always shine, it sometimes rests quietly in the imperfections that feel like home. One of Charles Faudree's most delightful talents was his ability to mix patterns with ease and elegance. He had a fearless approach to blending florals, stripes, checks, and toile, sometimes all in one room, without ever making the space feel busy or chaotic. It was this joyful layering that gave his designs warmth, life, and visual rhythm. The key, Faudree believed, was balance. Patterns were always united by a shared color palette or scale. A bold floral might be softened by a narrow stripe, or a busy toile balanced with a neutral gingham. Each print had its place and purpose, much like instruments in an orchestra, working together to create a cohesive melody. For those wanting to try this at home, start with a dominant pattern, then echo its colors in smaller prints around the room. Don't shy away from contrast, but guide it gently. Faudree's pattern play invites creativity. It encourages a home to feel joyful, lived in, and never too precious. floral patterns were a beloved staple in Charles Faudree's interiors. Whether featured on drapery, wallpaper, upholstery, or decorative pillows, soft florals brought a sense of romanticism and nature indoors. They weren't bold or trendy, they were classic and enduring, adding a poetic softness to his cozy, layered spaces. Faudree favored traditional floral prints, roses, peonies, wildflowers, often rendered in faded blues, dusty pinks, sage greens, and warm ivory. These gentle colors evoked a feeling of age and grace, as if the fabrics had been loved for generations. Florals were never overwhelming, but always present, like a subtle fragrance drifting through the room. He also loved pairing florals with texture. A linen pillow with rose sprigs, a chintz armchair beside a worn wood table, or a wallpapered floral accent wall complemented by antique sconces. These choices gave his spaces personality, timeless but never stiff, charming but never contrived. It's a look that still blossoms beautifully today. In Charles Faudree's world, accessories were never afterthoughts. They were storytellers. From hand-painted porcelain to carved picture frames and vintage dog figurines, each piece held meaning and memory. These touches gave his rooms their unmistakable soul and made them feel truly lived in. Faudree adored collections, especially those that reflected the homeowner's heart. Whether it was a grouping of antique boxes, botanical prints, or heirloom silver on display, he styled with intention. His philosophy was simple: if you love it, show it. That emotional connection brought warmth and charm to every surface. Accessories also served to soften spaces and break formality. A stack of weathered books on a dainty side table, a single rose in a hand-painted vase, or a worn leather-bound journal on a windowsill. All these small touches created intimacy. In a Faudree-inspired room, it's the accessories that whisper the story of home. Charles Faudree mastered the art of lived-in luxury, spaces that feel elegantly curated, yet unbelievably comfortable. His homes are not showrooms, they're places you naturally sink into, where every wrinkle in a linen slipcover and every worn edge tells a story. Luxury for Faudree wasn't about opulence. It was about layering comfort and style so expertly that high-end pieces didn't feel precious. Imagine a plush velvet armchair paired with a faded Persian rug or a marble-top table next to a slip-covered sofa. The contrast is graceful yet relaxed. His rooms invite you to linger, to read, sip tea, or simply daydream. He believed luxury should serve daily life, not interrupt it. And that's why, even years later, his style continues to captivate. It feels real, warm, and perfectly at home. Charles Faudree may no longer be with us, but his vision of French country living continues to inspire countless homes and hearts. His work reminds us that true beauty lies not just in perfect design, but in spaces that feel loved, lived in, and filled with grace. Whether you've fallen for his charming patterns, his romantic textiles, or his way of blending antiques with ease, the takeaway is simple: your home should reflect you. Faudree showed us that a well-styled room is a personal story, layered with comfort, warmth, and a timeless sense of joy. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic tour of Charles Faudree's French country style. If this episode brought you inspiration, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more vintage charm, and share your favorite Faudree feature in the comments. Until next time, stay cozy and keep decorating with soul.